Read this sentence carefully. This sentence is false. Now answer one simple question: is it true or is it false? Say it's true, and you've just admitted it's false. Say it's false, and you've just proven it true. There's no safe answer, no stable ground to stand on. Just an endless flicker between two impossible conclusions, over and over, with no way out. This is the Lair Paradox, a sentence small enough to fit in 5 words, and strange enough to have haunted philosophers, mathematicians, and logicians for more than 2,000 years. The story begins in ancient Crete with a philosopher named Epimenides. He made one devastating claim: all Cretans are liars. The problem is, Epimenides was Cretan himself. If he was telling the truth, then he, a Cretan, was a liar, which means the statement was false. But if he was lying, then not all Cretans are liars, which means the statement might actually be true. Follow the logic in either direction, and it collapses back on itself. Centuries of philosophers refined the idea further until it was stripped down to its purest, sharpest form. This sentence is false. No culture, no character, no context, just language folding in on itself, and logic left with nowhere to land. Most sentences point outward to a fact, a number, an event in the world. The Lair Paradox does something different. It points at itself, and that single move is enough to break an entire system of reasoning. Classical logic rests on one quiet assumption: every statement is either true or false, never both, never neither. The Lair Paradox doesn't just violate that rule. It exposes that the rule was never designed to survive a sentence like this. It isn't false the way an ordinary lie is false. It's a statement logic simply has no box for. Here's what makes this more than a clever trick of language: it's what it does to you. The human brain is wired for consistency. We want our beliefs, our conclusions, our sense of the world to line up cleanly. When they don't, we feel it immediately. Psychologists call that feeling cognitive dissonance, the same discomfort you get when your actions contradict your values, or when two things you believe can't both be true at once. The Lair Paradox is that discomfort in its purest form. A contradiction with nowhere to hide, quietly asking your mind to resolve something it was never built to resolve. Once you notice the shape of it, you start seeing it everywhere. In self-judgment, I can never trust my own judgment, a claim that relies on the very judgment it's dismissing. In broken promises, I swear I'll never lie to you again, spoken by someone you already have reason to doubt. In identity itself, the impossible task of summing yourself up in one fixed sentence, when you're a person who can hold two contradictory truths by the end of the same day. These aren't just clever coincidences. They're small, everyday echoes of the same trap Epimenides fell into: language and thought turning back to swallow their own meaning. There's a modern version of this worth sitting with. Every reasoning system built today, every AI trained to evaluate its own answers, runs into a shadow of the same paradox. Ask a system to judge whether its own output can be trusted, and you get the identical recursive knot, a judgment that depends on the reliability of the very thing doing the judging. It's a reminder that the Lair Paradox was never just an ancient riddle about language. It's a structural limit, one that appears anywhere something is asked to fully verify itself from the inside, whether that something is a sentence, a mind, or a machine. Philosophers have spent centuries trying to patch the hole. This paradox opens up new systems of logic, rules against self-reference, entire branches of mathematics built just to contain it. And still, the paradox survives every fix. Maybe that's the real lesson here. Not every contradiction is a problem waiting to be solved. Some are simply what happens when a system, a sentence, a mind, a person turns around to look at itself. The Lair Paradox isn't a flaw in thinking. It's proof that thinking can fold back on itself at all. What paradox should we break down next? Let me know in the comments.